Hey everybody, I'm Erica Carlson with Bricks Real Estate. I'm bringing you market data for mostly Wright County, but I'm going to also bring in the Twin Cities data, talk about Hennepin County to give you perspective on how this data makes sense to you, whether you're a homeowner or a person thinking about buying a house this year. I would think that this information would be helpful in either context. If you want to stay tuned with me towards the end, I will talk to people that own homes and are thinking about selling in terms of controllable variables to make the transaction a little bit less stressful. So I do hope you will stay tuned. So it's January 10th. We have not had much of a change in terms of listing activity. If anything, it's just a hair down. I mean, hair meaning a couple. It's not really a big deal. It's interesting when you compare January 10th to December 20th, there was more inventory for you to choose from. And I do think if you're out there house shopping, you might be feeling that complete shortage. And we're really just waiting for people to get off the fence. And the weather is going to determine a lot of this. So at this very moment, there's this nice light snow coming down. It's quite beautiful. But it will impact people from wanting to go out and stomp around in the snow and look at houses. Pendings did pick up a little. That's probably the most noticeable thing about the data on the screen, and not a lot, right? But it does show you that some of those people that were deal hunting have taken some of those houses off the market, which maybe explains actually a little bit that like slight decline in inventory is that a few of these people snatched up these houses. That might make some perfect sense. You can see closings didn't change anything over last week. However, you can go back to December 20th, excuse me, and it's like, whoa, where did the closings go? Well, if nobody was out there shopping, it all sort of lines up together for sure. This data is always the most intriguing to watch. We have had a nice little healthy jump both in Wright and Hennepin County for buyer activity. So how do I know this? Well, it's that top column that I watch week over week. Absolutely love watching this data because I can always go like anecdotally, how busy am I? Like I can look back at my last week. How many new people did I meet? How many houses did I show? That definitely seems to sort of line up with the data to a certain extent, but I'm just one person. This is the only way for me to look at it more globally. So if you're trying to understand the data on the screen, when we say there's 2.4 in the past week for Wright County, what I'm saying is showings per week per listing only in the 250 to 500K range. I'm not looking at the lowest lows and the highest highs. These are just average numbers to get an idea of how many people are out there house shopping. What is interesting is it's back to where we were on December 20th. Again, we missed some data there during the holidays. That's okay. But last week it was slower for both Wright and Hennepin, so we've had an increase. Which I actually am like really happy to see that because, if it was going to stay that slow, that would actually be a little bit concerning to all of us. Hennepin County had a really healthy jump going from 3.4 to 5.5 showings per week per listing. 5.5 is actually like a pretty nice number. So if you're shopping in that Hennepin County area, expect multiple offers, expect more people interested in the same properties versus Wright County might be a little bit slower. We just don't have as many houses. We don't have as much interest in this area. That's just par for the course. We just don't have the inventory. We don't have not inventory. We don't have the population and we don't have the industry necessarily to support that versus the metro. Anyway, what I really want to point out that you can't see on this screen is that normally if you have 250 to 500K, the 250 or the lower price range is going to have more showing activity than the highest. And this week in Hennepin County, the showing activity was hot and heavy at 500K. So I cannot tell you what house or grouping of houses put that demand, why all of a sudden there were all these people out there that could shop that price range. It was very intriguing to see such heavy, I'm talking like 10 showings per week per listing. Before I move on past this point, if you're trying to still understand what am I supposed to be gaining from this, it means that if I have a showing right now, if my house is on the market and I'm trying to get a sense of, am I getting enough showing activity? This is the data I need to look at. If it's average that people are getting 2 showings a week, which is what I'm telling you, 2 to 3 showings a week is common in this price point, average. But I'm getting 10 showings. Well, then I've got it priced right. something about the picture, something's drawing people in. I'm doing really well if I'm above average. If I'm below that number, I might start thinking about what am I doing marketing wise to not draw people in. Now, there's all sorts of other variables. So work with your real estate agent to comprehend the data and process it. But this is the data I'm consistently looking at for my sellers. This is what's important. We want to get an idea of what's happening out there. We can't just look at our house in isolation. If everybody's only getting 2 showings a week, then I should not be freaking out if I'm getting 1, 2, 3 showings a week. But if it's 0, then, maybe I want to stop and like reflect on what I'm going to do to get more people in. 2 showings a week is very slow, very, very slow, to give you a better idea. Days on market, 53 about is the average, 45 is median. You can see on my screen, staying pretty steady, not remarkable. If I'm listing a house tomorrow, I might prepare myself mentally that it's going to take a month and a half to sell. Don't want that to freak me out. Just remove the expectation that a house is going to sell the first weekend. It might, for sure. Everything's possible. We don't know exactly how things are going to play out for you until they play out. The problem with most data is we are looking in the back, and the problem is our associations release this data. It's a month, 2 months behind. That's why I try to give you more current data, like what I'm showing with days on market. My data is extremely fresh. I'm looking at the last 7 days and only houses that have gone under contract. I'm excluding anything that, let's say it was listed but didn't go under contract. I don't care about that one. It's just not helpful data to me. All right, Twin Cities at large. It's really reflecting what we're seeing on the other previous screen. So really quick, our market meter, meaning like on a scale of, is it a buyer's market, is it a seller's market, where are we? We're still kind of in the middle. We're leaning towards the buyer's market. What does that really mean? Well, it means that buyers are tending to get a little bit more of what they want versus sellers getting what they want. These are arbitrary terms. They only mean what they mean in terms of the context of that particular transaction. Maybe you can get more of an inspection. Maybe you'll stay out of multiple offers. Maybe you can get a little bit of a discount on the price. Maybe you can hold on to your house while you're buying another house. They'll let you do that contingency. I mean, there's all sorts of variables of like where a buyer could be a little bit more lenient than a seller. Seller's market, right? Multiple offers, getting above asking price, people skipping inspections, not having as many contingencies on their offers. Notice the median rates on market. Now, this is Twin Cities at large, and I'm not going to lie, I don't exactly know what area we're continually talking about in terms of the Twin Cities. Is that the 7-county area, 13-county area? I don't know. 48.6 is the median. Okay, going back to right, we're at 53, 45. It's pretty much in line. Inventory is down. We're down over 5% on our inventory over last year. You can feel that when you're a real estate agent and you've been in business for a while. It's like, where are the houses? What can I show? What exists? So if you're kind of nervous about selling your house, you just don't have the competition that you would have had in previous years. Interest rates are hovering around 7%. Now that depends on your loan type. That's a base rate. That's no discount points. That is a million variables that I don't want you to lock into. Please contact a local, fantastic loan officer to tell you what your situation is going to be. Please, please, please be careful with this information. People get way too generic about this conversation. Your credit score, your situation determines your interest rate, whether you're buying down points, etc. These are just things that, we pull. So I told you guys I was going to share a little bit more information with you about selling your property. And what I wanted to talk about is controllable versus uncontrollable factors that I want you to consider. And so when you think about what can I control and not control, and I think that this is an important conversation to have if you're thinking about selling. Obviously, we can't control the market. We can't control how much competition is out there. It's really hard when we have a shifting market and it was this way one day and then it's another way another day. And, you were hearing about the red hot pandemic market, but just because that's what happened to your neighbor 3 years ago, is that what's going to happen to you? Again, that's why you work with somebody who studies the market and helps you interpret it for your particular situation. So yeah, we can't control any of that. What can I control? Okay, well, I could I can make this house clean, 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 super clean. People love clean. What I always think about is a hotel. I don't go to a hotel and to get into a dirty bed with dirty sheets and dirty floors and a dirty toilet and a dirty shower. I would absolutely check out of that hotel. I would agree, or I'm sure you would agree that you would do the same. You would be completely grossed out by a hotel like that. You have to remember when you're selling your house, home will feel like clean, even if somebody isn't inherently a great house cleaner, or keeper upper of their house. I don't know how to say that. We all have different standards of what clean is. So it's not intended to be a judgmental comment. But if they're walking through, and we know you have about 8 seconds to make a first impression. So you think about that person walking through that door and what do they see? How does it smell? You can control that presentation of your property. And if you are in a situation where you're too busy, or your back hurts, or you've got the kids and the dogs and the life, and everybody has life. So maybe it's a good time to hire a house cleaning company for a one-time deep clean. Because you kind of want to think about getting ready for pictures, and you want to think about that different than getting ready for showings. And the way we distinguish that is photos don't show as much. If I'm photographing all this junk behind me, I'm cleaning all that off. I don't even know I have it in this video. It would be, it would be white clean for photos. It's an illusion, people. Nobody lives like that. It's all an illusion. The cleanliness, the cleanness of the visual cleanness, it helps us focus on ceiling, wall, windows, flooring, the fundamentals of a house, versus, these windowsills are really dirty and I'm going to have to figure out how to get them clean. And I hate to tell you this, you don't want to hear it. It affects value. Now, it's hard for us to always say this is exactly the dollar amount that you're losing when your house is kind of sticky or gunky, or however you want to say it. I was speaking about a particular house, so I'm speaking generally. But if that's how people feel, they're going to discount the house because they're going to say, I got to get a house cleaner. So you could get that for them and make a little bit more money. Paint colors. I always pick on this room. It's kind of a salmony pink color. First thing my husband said to me as soon as I painted the wall, you're going to have to change that when we sell the house. Of course, I rolled my eyes. It's one room. It's not, my entire house is not pink. It's my room, whoop-de-doo. But what if every room in my house is a special color? Bright orange, lime green, deep reds, dark blues. These are very custom colors for me. You kind of want to watch the new construction trends. How are they presenting houses? Now, I'm over gray personally. Nobody said you have to gray your walls, but you could go with whites. You can go with light tans and beiges and very neutrally. Nobody has a feeling about it. And even then, I've heard people criticize those colors too. So you guys, we can't win, but those are just kind of some things we can control. Obviously, getting a stager, whether you want to rent furniture to present the house a certain way or use your own furniture. A stager is not a decorator. I really want to make that clear to everybody. I think there's a lot of confusion around that topic. If your real estate agent's willing to comp or make that a complimentary service, I would absolutely take them up on that offer, because it's a few $100s and that person's a professional and that's all they do is look at how to manipulate and move things around the environment to make it feel like somebody else's home. And I know you don't want to hear this. It was your home for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. It was your home, and now it's becoming a house. It's becoming a product that you are selling. And so while not every little thing needs to be done for some future homeowner, what are the things you can control about it? And I guess I'll leave you with this because I am feeling a little babbly right now, is a pre-inspection may be the best investment you could potentially make. Now, my husband's also a real estate agent. I don't know that he and I always see eye to eye on this topic. And if he's listening, hopefully I'm not annoying him. But I just feel like if I want to sell my house and have absolutely no surprises, and I don't want a lot of back and forth negotiations, if I present my buyers with an inspection I've already done for them, yes, it costs a couple $100s, but I've filled out my disclosures and I've given them an inspection report from a third party that's not me. I've really covered my ground. I'm telling you everything I can about the house. It removes the unexpected. Buyers are afraid of the unexpected. They are terrified they're going to buy something that's going to cost them and cost them and cost them. And sellers are also afraid of the negotiations and them getting an inspection and turning around and trying to bring down the price or demanding a bunch of repairs. So if you don't like surprises, I highly recommend getting a pre-inspection from a licensed inspector. And if you want the names of the types of organizations that actually license inspectors, let me know. I'm happy to give you that information. And anyway, it's just, do you have to do this? Absolutely not. Is it customary? No, not really. We don't see that many houses where people do inspections before they sell. But again, what's your risk tolerance? How do you feel about somebody coming back and asking, hey, I did an inspection and your furnace is old and I want another $5,000 off the purchase price. I don't like surprises. I don't like that component of that unexpectedness. So, that might be a better way to spend some money, than just trying to guess like which things should be updated and repaired. You're just being very upfront about it. So I'm sure I'm forgetting some things. I'm talking very fast. I've obviously kind of even stumbling over my own words, which is very normal for me. To conclude, you've seen on my screen this whole time getting a free market report, which you can download from the link I'm providing on these various platforms that I have uploaded this video to. Please like, subscribe, share me with a friend. I mean, on social media, of course. Obviously came out wrong. My website is iheartmplshomes.com. You can use it to start your home search. You can use it to get a hold of me to start your educational process. I absolutely love being a teacher. I love talking about real estate. Let me know how I can help you. Have a great week.